Attention, Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah. You need to get out of the Pac-12 and you need to do it now. Why? Pull up a chair, sit back, relax, and let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and welcome in to yet another edition of Coos' Corner. So pull up that chair and let me serve you up this shot of top-shelf college football knowledge. The topic of today's show, once again, conference expansion and conference realignment. In the Big Ten, it looks like they're not done expanding. Why do I say that? Commissioner Kevin Warren basically said it himself. First day of Big Ten Media Days, he did an interview with Brett McMurphy of the Action Network, who formerly of ESPN, a very highly respected columnist and reporter. And he also made comments during his opening statements at Media Days. Kevin Warren says that there's a handful of schools, besides Notre Dame, that would add value to the Big Ten. Now, Kevin Warren himself did not specifically state those schools. However, Brett McMurphy says he has a source that told him the top four schools on the list are Washington, Oregon, Stanford, and California. They also mentioned Miami and Florida State as potential candidates, but I think they're secondary candidates. And we all know with that ACC grant of rights going through 2036, they're probably a long shot at this point, because who knows if they can even get out of that deal. It would cost them way too much money. But with the Pac-12 deal expiring next year, or in 2024 rather, it would be pretty easy to get the four Pac-12 schools out. And we all know that they're interested. At least we know Oregon and Washington are interested, according to reports and rumors that are out there right now. And why wouldn't Stanford and Cal be interested as well? Why wouldn't you be, right? To go make that $80 to $100 million a year. Now, Kevin Warren went on to say, when I say add value, value is important. But I just look at the fit. A fit has to be there academically and has to be there athletically. So academic still plays a role in this. However, he also said in this article, they are no longer requiring AAU certification to get into the Big Ten. It's not required. So apparently they've done away with that requirement, which doesn't surprise me because we all know today it's all about the Benjamins. In his opening statement, Kevin Warren had this to say. Regarding expansion, I get asked every single day, what's next? It may include future expansion, but it will be done for the right reasons at the right time with our student athletes, academic and athletic empowerment at the center of any and all decisions that we will make regarding any further expansions. We will not expand just to expand. It will be strategic. It will add additional value to our conference. Interestingly enough, in his statements at Big 12 Media, or at Big Ten Media Days, I should say, he talked about how they want to get games on that late night time slot that the Pac-12 has had. And they're excited about being able to do that with USC and UCLA. Well, that's only two teams, folks. So that means they may not be able to play a game on that time slot every week, because there are going to be weeks those teams are playing on the East Coast, right? Midnight on the Pacific Coast is 3 a.m. on the East Coast. So why would you want to put a game on at 3 a.m., right? So the only time they would be able to play those games are home games for USC and UCLA, and they don't happen every week. So to me, if they want to do that, it would make sense for them to go get more Pac-12 schools so they can get more games in those time slots. They could have games in that time slot every week then, right? Every single Saturday they could have a game on in that time slot. But the biggest key thing is that would absolutely destroy the Pac-12 conference. And also in this article, it talked about the Big 12. It talked about how, as we've already heard, the Big 12 potentially is targeting Colorado, Arizona State, Arizona, and Utah. So if those four schools see that these other four schools are being targeted by the Big 10, does it make it more urgent for them to go to the Big 12 where they're more secure? I think so. Now, will the Big 12 want all four of them? I don't know. Depends on what reports you read. There's rumors flying around all over the place. Some say they will take all four. Some say they would not because it would water down the conference. Who knows? Heck, San Diego State's even in play here, which I'll touch on hopefully in a future video. But those four corner schools are critical. And it also talked about how Brett Yormark and Kevin Warren have formed a good relationship with one another. Kevin Warren said that himself in this interview with Brett McMurphy. They formed a good relationship, close relationship. So, what's that mean? Are the Big 12 and Big 10 sort of tag teaming, so to speak, to use wrestling terms? Are they tag teaming against the Pac-12 to destroy the league so that there's less competition? Kevin Warren said, hey, this is a business. I'm going to do what's best for the Big 10. If he wants that West Coast time slot, what's the best way to get that West Coast time slot? You get rid of the competition, and then you own that time slot. Now, that's not to say the Big 12 can't have some games as well, but you're competing with one conference instead of two, right? So it'll be very interesting to see how this pans out. Now, not only did Brett McMurphy say it, Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports also said in an interview that he's hearing from his sources also that Cal, Stanford, Oregon, and Washington are the four biggest targets of Big Ten expansion. There's some key factors here, though. Number one being the networks. The networks are unsure how to value these four schools. They don't know how much they're worth. Also, those four schools would not be added in time to be involved in the new TV deal that's getting ready to be renewed or getting ready to be signed with Fox and potentially some other partners. But Fox is going to be the primary carrier. We already know that. So what's probably going to happen is this new TV deal will get signed probably in the next few weeks. They're saying it will likely be rolled out before the start of the football season. And if the Big Ten will later go say to the networks, hey, we're going to get these four schools, and we want you to add them, and we want to renegotiate our deal, they're going to go back to the bargaining table. Now, the Big Ten is saying, according to Dennis Dodd, he's hearing that the Big Ten is saying that adding those four schools would make their deal worth an additional $250 million, which is $62.5 million per school. And I know what you're thinking, the same thing I am. There's reports out there that they're going to make up to $80 to $100 million per school in this new deal. So why would you add all these four schools to reduce your payout? So I'm not sure what their thinking is here. Maybe they don't take all four schools. They only take two of them. I don't know. But either way, for those four corner schools that are potentially looking at the Big 12, they need to go ASAP. They need to go the Big 12 ASAP if they are invited, because this is not good for the Pac-12. It looks like it's potentially imploding upon itself. And if it doesn't implode, it will at least decrease in value dramatically. I mean, heck, it already has. And it'll decrease even more when you lose those four schools. You would basically be the equivalent of a group of five conference at that point. And if I'm the Big 12, do you take them all? You know, and here's something else I was thinking about. If they go back to the bargaining table with these networks after adding these four schools, when's that going to take place? And if I'm these four schools, if I'm Cal, Stanford, Oregon, or Washington, why would I sign a grant of rights agreement with the Pac-12 knowing that in 1 or 2 years I might get an invite to the Big Ten? Why would I do that? So those four schools are probably not going to sign a new grant of rights with the Pac-12, which makes the conference very unstable because the networks may not want to do business with them now because they don't have a grant of rights agreement in place. So it's just chaos. It's total chaos for the Pac-12 right now. And if the Big 12 can go snatch four of those schools, or at least a couple of them, don't know if they're going to take them all or what's going to happen. But if they can get a couple of those schools, that makes it even harder for the Pac-12 to survive. And I'll be interested to see what happens, because those four schools are not going to want to wait around. And if I'm Arizona, if I'm the four corner schools as they're calling them, I don't want to wait around either. Because if the Big 12 is throwing me a life raft, I'm jumping on that bad boy as soon as I can, and I'm saving myself. I'd rather go make $30 to $40 million in the Big 12 than to drop down to making just, $10 million or so in a group of five league. So don't take that chance, four corner schools. If you've got a chance, if you're one of those fans of one of those schools or one of those administrators who are looking down on the Big 12, I'm swallowing my pride, and I'm going, okay, this is the only thing we can do. Let's go. And let's go join the Big 12 Conference. Well, let me know, Couz's Corner family, what do you think about this? Do you think those four corner schools should jump at the chance to go to the Big 12 if given the opportunity? Or do you think they should stand pat for now and just wait it out and see what happens? I want to hear your thoughts. And should the Big 12 take all four schools if given the opportunity? Okay? Also, don't forget about my merch. Top of my description box right now. Check out the shirts, hoodies, ball caps, everything I've got over there. Like I said, links at the top of the description box. Check out the affiliate links down below to Fanatics, Amazon, BetUS. Do your online shopping and online gambling. You can also become a member of my channel by hitting the join button right below the video. If you can't do any of that, and you want to support me for free, there's 4 ways you do it. You like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. All of those things help me out. It all helps the YouTube algorithm. It all helps my channel grow. In the meantime, I appreciate you tuning into this video. And until the next one, Q Country Roads.